I work in the painters union, DC 35. I'm an industrial painter. My life before my accident, I was a 3-star athlete. I played hockey all year round. I played cross country. I ran cross country. I ran track. I was a good student in school. Never was much of a troublemaker. I did carpentry. I did CTE program for Silver Lake High School, and the carpentry program. My life was pretty normal at that time. Nothing was going on, and I had my eyes set on the Marine Corps. I was gonna try and do 22 years in the Marine Corps. At my end of my junior year, began my senior year, I was sworn into the Marine Corps August 2nd, 2011. I had a boot camp date set up for June 12th, 2012. I was excited. I called my mom as soon as I got sworn in. I called my mom and I told her, hey, I can't believe I'm gonna be a Marine. My dreams coming true. I was excited at that point, and it was at that time I felt like I was, my career was set. I could wait to start it. I remember bits and pieces of the accident. I was coming back from Plymouth, Nelson Beach, in Plymouth, and I was with my buddy Josh, who was going to the Marine Corps with me. We had the same boot camp date, and I was following him home, coming from around 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night. I met him at Silver Lake High School after we left Nelson Beach. I met him at Silver Lake High School, so he had dropped his girlfriend off, and we were going back to his house for a fire. And it was just for me and him to hang. It was just for me and him to hang out, and days before school started. So you figure, why not just go out to have some fun before school started. I was following him home after we met at Silver Lake High School real quick. I met up with him, and we followed him down 2736. Followed him down 27. We came up to the intersection 2736, where at the bottom of the hill, at the intersection at the bottom of the hill. So it's a slight uphill, and then at the bottom is a light. So we didn't see the light till we got to the top, and when we got to the top, the light was green. He goes down the hill. I'm following him. He goes to the intersection. The light's still green at this point, and I go through, and the light is still green. And when I get through, I see this car come to my left, and the lights getting brighter and brighter. And at this point, I knew. And I looked to my left, and that's when I saw the car. And at that point, I didn't know what to do. So I just couldn't really do much except for take it, I guess. And next thing I know, I just hit it. That's the sound of the crash, and that was it. I wake up to people around my car, yelling, screaming. That's all I just remember saying is just, I want to go home. Somewhat conscious, and I just feeling like, kind of having feel my head, feeling my pulse, checking for a pulse. And you see he's having a hard time finding one, and I kind of figured, but at the point was next thing I heard him say is he might need a body bag. So I remember just the door popping open, and I get up, and that's when I felt the pain for the first time. It was intense, like the worst pain I ever felt in my life, and I dropped instantly. At that point, I said, "No, that's it. That's all I was gonna remember." I was just on the ground, screaming, crying. The most difficult part of my recovery was not being able to do much. My thinking, my speech was, just having to deal with outpatient therapy, and having to recover was just, like, the toughest part was just trying to, I was always tired. Like, walking 10 feet, I'll be exhausted, and I was just missing half my senior year because of it. That was like the toughest part too, because not being able to see my friends and at school or hang out with them. My old change. I still have head issues. my processing it takes a lot longer than it used to when I was in high school. Like things that would be easy to solve takes me a lot longer to solve. Like a simple task I'll probably do the task longer than anyone else, than a normal person, because I'll do it the harder way than not seeing the easy way of it. I get more agitated easily too, knowing that I can't do this or I'm taking longer to do it because of my head, and especially my change and myself. Driving, I started nervous driving sometimes. Intersection still bother me. Going to the intersection they'll still bother me. Nightmares and flashbacks on it. They used to be worse, but some here and there I still get them. And my memory's terrible now. Dad and Mom tell me go get this or do this, and I'll forget. They'll tell me 2 or 3 times, I'll still forget to do it. And I still get tired. I get tired a lot now too. I go home from work, I'll sleep, and once I'm asleep, I don't want to get back up. I don't wake up because it's so hard, especially my family. They back me up a lot too. They support my family. They see a lot of changes in me too. They always tell me, and it definitely is harder, and I can see that. My dog was definitely a big part of it. Even when I first got home from the hospital, he wouldn't leave my side. He was always there, especially for the first week. He never left my side. He just stayed there, but playing with him seeing him all the time, just petting him and him being on my side was the best thing. Therapy definitely helped me out too. Going to therapy and talking to someone actually definitely helped. Told me how to cope with it, and if it happens, give me a few breathing techniques, and sister and brother-in-law help out a lot too. Going out in North Carolina to see them, and my niece now. I have a niece. She's one of the big parts too. When I see her all the time and watching her grow, it wasn't easy. But when I found out that they told me I was gonna be in the hospital for a while, I told them I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna be out here in a month. But each day I got better and better. I started cognitive memory and speech at Spalding. But the doctors were very impressed where I was at, and they said I was way far ahead of where I should be from my recovery. So I only spent 2.5 weeks. At Mass General Hospital, and I got transferred to Spalding Rehab next to the Garden. That was tough, but I worked very hard at it, and I spent 2.5 weeks at Spalding, and the doctors are very impressed that how fast I jumped out. I jumped back up and was released in a month, which that was my main goal, and they couldn't believe it that I accomplished it. I had to get back into shape because I lost I was 155 when the accident happened. I was at 115 when I was transferred to Spalding Rehab. I was in the best shape of my life at that time too. Running 3 miles all the time, playing hockey all the time, non-stop sports. Yeah, man, my first time now is mostly work. I work. Some days is 57 hours a week, or sometimes 58, depending on the overtime that we get. But mostly on a 48-hour week. Some days it's 6 to 2, some days it's 5:30 to 1:30, and I still go out at night with my buddies and hang out with them at the bars and stuff. But play with my dog, I'll hang out with my dog and play with him sometimes. So, yeah, just never give up. It is hard. It's definitely not easy going through, being a survivor, drunk driver. It's never easy. You're always gonna have hit bumps on the road and stuff like that, but it's definitely just keep it going. Because I still go through stuff and I still struggle, but I always know eventually, I'll get better, maybe easier to deal with stuff, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that for sure. Because I had PTSD from the accident. I wasn't sleeping at nights anymore. I was going, you know, sleep for 2 or 3 hours a night or none. Especially if you get help too. If you don't see a therapist, definitely get one, because therapy definitely helps. I mean, I was nervous doing it too. Can't help, but when I did though, because it definitely helped. Working my hands and stuff like that. I'm not one to sit in the office or sit behind a desk, and so I like being active, and this job definitely fits the category for me. Yeah, sometimes like, you know, my family would get agitated with me, and I get agitated with them, definitely because of the brain injury. Because, you know, I'll procrastinate, or I'll forget to do things, and I just, you know, or it takes me longer to like help do things and stuff like that. And my friends, we sometimes get agitated with each other too, and fight and argue because of things I do without thinking and stuff, because of the traumatic brain injury. Because I for my future is to, you know, move up in this business, in my career, in this painters union career I have going. It's definitely move up someday to being a foreman, and hopefully maybe one day become a super. But no, I definitely do. I do plan on having I would like someday to have a good girlfriend to, you know, have around and have a girlfriend to have around with me and be with me, and also maybe one day have a family with, and great girl I can marry and be a life partner, have a family of my own, and, you know, be able to have a couple kids and raise them, and yeah, definitely that's one of my other big goals too, is have a family and stuff one day. Regret it was not going home when I was told to go home in the first place. So I was told not to go. Don't be home too late. Like, don't be past midnight, because nothing good happens after midnight. Never to listen to parents about that, because it's true. Nothing good happens after midnight. I'm happy where I am now. I mean, I have accomplished a lot since the accident. It was not easy. It has not been an easy 5 years. But I definitely I hope if anyone else is going through this or has drinking and drove before, don't drink and drive. That's the main thing. It's not worth it. I mean, the ruin, you know, because like due to the drunk drive, I lost my whole, you know, my life was upside down because of it. I wasn't even being Marine, and I pretty much lost a career that I had pretty much since I was like 10 or 12, since I was between 8 and 10 years old. I had like one big Marine, so that was a big disappointment, losing that.
June 2012. Before that, I was playing soccer at MCLA, and you know, I had thought I had all my ducks in a row. Everything is going great. I'm starting. I'm the forward. I'm scoring goals sometimes, and so then I came home 2012 May, and you know, I was 21, and my girlfriend was turning 21, and we went out to the bar to celebrate, and you know, just one thing led to another, and I got in the car with someone, and I can't remember this night at all, but we got in the car, and then we smashed into a telephone pole, smashed my head in 17 different places. We went to Beth Israel, and they were like, she's too banged up for us, so we're gonna send her to Boston Medical. They didn't know if I was gonna survive or not. Obviously I am. I'm here. I spent a month in a coma, but meanwhile they didn't know if I was gonna survive. They told my family, tell your friends and family, like, she's gonna pass away, 21, you know. So I woke up in probably like the end of June, and they transferred me over to Spalding. So I woke up, I couldn't breathe, had a breathing tube, I had a neck brace on because they didn't know if I broke my neck or anything like that. I couldn't even walk, and I got a lot of damage on the left side of my temporal lobe, which affects the right side of your body. So like my arm was going like this, my foot was like cold. It's still colder than my my left foot. But you know, do you know what happened? Like my friends came and visited me, and honestly, like if I didn't have my friends and my family, I don't know, I don't think I would have survived if I didn't have all the people that love me and stuff like that. So anyways, my friends came and they said, you know, do you know what you're doing here? And I was like, I had no idea. They told me who I got in the accident with, and I couldn't even remember his name. I couldn't even realize who he was. And you know, I was gonna go into my senior year playing soccer, everything. They said you can't play soccer for a year. I had to create a new person, because that's all I really did, like soccer in college and my friends and all that. So I couldn't go back to school right away, which is wicked disappointing for me. So I went to Quincy Rehab Care, learning how to walk, talk, do physical therapy and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to run on the field, and I had no idea how much damage was done to me. And the thing is, like, I didn't break a bone in my body. It all has to do with the brain, you know, like, you know, little 21-year-old, like, oh, it would never happen to me. Like, that only happens on the news, you know. I need my independence. I couldn't even drive, not that I lost my license, but because my right side was so weak, I couldn't even press the pedal. So again, I lost a lot of things, but you know, you have to want it. So I, besides everyone else's recommendations, I went back to school, graduated on time, did a couple internships. I came back to Plymouth, and then I started taking classes at Quincy College just to, you know, make sure my brain doesn't atrophy. I took a couple criminal justice classes, a couple substance abuse classes. I started volunteering at, you know, South Shore Women's Resource Center. And during the training, Amy, she's talking, and she's like, oh yeah, I also provide counseling for those who have been affected by drunk driving. And I was like, hey, I have a story about that. So I shared it with her, and so she has me go to schools and all that stuff about, you know, really, like, even I wasn't even driving. Like, it's just like, be careful as to what you're doing that night, who you're talking to, all that stuff. Call your mom, call your dad, say I love you, like picking me up. Because again, I was like that 21-year-old, you know, I'm all that, like nothing can happen to me, but you know, anything can happen to anyone. So I found this team, which isn't here yet, but this is amazing. And I would tell you what I'm working on right now, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to tell you. I would say, well, first of all, I couldn't drive for 6 months, and some people are like, oh my god, how can you drive? It's like so scary. I was like, that's the opposite of my reality. I was like, I want to drive everything. Like, I just hated like the dependence on other people. I was like, I know I'm independent, I'm gonna do this and that. But it also taught me a lot about, like, you have to be kind, and like you have to help out other people, and that's what I'm doing now. Like 6 months, a year before me volunteering there, I was there. Like, I saw the nurses and all that. Oh well, I would just say, you know, I missed the college life. I have to be like, oh, okay, I'm not in college anymore. I mean, I can be in college, but not like in real college. I miss college. My life is, I have more of a direction now. A good, orderly direction, if you know what I mean. I'm a volunteer for Spalding as, like, right off the bat, like, brain injury, and it's amazing. And the view there is, like, unbelievable. I would say what this taught me is to be creative and be three-dimensional person, not this, like, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna come right home. And you know, you have to be three-dimensional, and you have to be creative, because you can't do everything the same as you used. It taught me to never ever give up. So just keep trying, and you know, time's a funny thing. I don't want to be like married, engaged to time, because time some people are like, oh my god, I have to do this tomorrow and I have to do this by this time, blah. But if you just chill with the time, it's okay. I mean, first of all, me volunteering, I wouldn't be a volunteer before, but now, like, that's all I do. Well, at first, I mean, still to this day, I feel like my parents will never enable me. The fact that I live in Boston is like unreal. I have a different set of friends. Like, I'm still friends with my old friends, but I don't, you know, I'm 26. I'm sure my 26-year-old's friends still go out to the bar. I mean, sometimes I go just to dance, go to clubs. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty active, but you know, I just don't put myself in harm's way as much as I used to. But yeah, I'm more of like a studier, which is weird. Don't be afraid to do things, because you don't know what it could bring you. And you know, I ask people sometimes, I ask them, what's the most important organ in your body? And you know, some people are like, your heart. Yeah, well, your heart, you know. But I was like, no, your brain is the most important thing, because your brain tells you how to beat. Your brain tells yourself to breathe, you know, and all that, because I lost my ability to breathe, to eat, to walk, to do all that. So take care of your brain.
My life before the accident. Well, I had just recently gone through a very difficult divorce. I have 3 children. My late daughter Keisha, Ethan, and Brandon. Keisha was in the military, and she had a little boy, Jordan. I was a single mom trying to take care of my 2 boys. I was struggling. I was working as a temp. The kid's father wasn't paying child support like he was supposed to. I was behind on my rent. She was here a lot. She would come over every Sunday and Tuesday for dinners with Jordan. She was working. She was in the military. I would babysit for her. So from about 2011 up until her accident, we were struggling. Then in 2012, I got every parent's worst nightmare. I got that call in the middle of the night from the sergeant in Norton, at the Norton Police Department. He called me about, I think it was about 11:30, and the sergeant got on the phone and told me there had been an accident, and I needed to get to Rhode Island Hospital. When we got there to the hospital, there was a bunch of people waiting for us, like counselors and things like that. And they stuck us in this little tiny little room. Then a bunch of doctors came in, and then they told us that she had passed away. And I don't know what I was thinking after that. You know, I asked them if I could go see her, and they took us to the room where she was. I remember going over and putting my face next to her ear, and I told her that I loved her. And I got home, and the entire family was outside waiting. Like when the sun came out, people started coming here, wanting interviews and things like that, and I didn't talk to anybody. I couldn't give her the funeral I wanted. I ended up having to cremate her. Well, we had an open casket. She was still there, but we had to borrow a casket. We used flowers from somebody else's funeral. Just things like that to defray the cost, because we didn't have the money for it. And I don't think that this drunk driver has any clue of the damage that he's caused and the domino effect that it's created. My boys missed their sister. Her youngest brother doesn't even remember her. He's 12 now, and He doesn't even remember what she sounded like. Keisha was the type of person that when she walked into a room, you knew she was there. I mean, it was as soon as she would come in, the party started. She was the life of the party, very upbeat and positive. I mean, her and I had our mother-daughter things. You know, like she'd complain about my cooking and, you know, things like that. She just wanted to have a nice life. And she went back to school. She was taking environmental science. Her ultimate dream was to work for OSHA. That's all we ever heard about was OSHA. I believe if she was still here, she'd be working at OSHA right now. The drunk driver, he drove up Route 152 into Plainville, and he had gotten into an accident at that intersection. He left the scene of that accident. My daughter was on her way home from school, and she was on 152 coming the opposite direction. I think he must have lost control, jumped over to her side of the street, and he hit her head on. And when he hit her, he pushed her car into a yard where there was a house with a little girl's bedroom right in the front of the house and a tree, and her car was between the tree and the house, and the family's little girl was sleeping in that bedroom. So if my daughter's car wasn't there, he would have gone right through that little girl's bedroom. She was alive for 2 hours. The accident happened at 10:30. She was alive and they took her out of the car on the way to the hospital. I don't know if she said anything, and that bothers me because just not knowing if your child was asking for you or asking for her son. And she actually passed away on September 21st at 12:30. It had gone over midnight. The trial for the drunk driver was very difficult to go through. His attorney was trying to get him 3 years as a sentence because the drunk driver supposedly did not have any other traffic incidents or any other drunk driving. It was like his first offense. I have to say the roughest thing about the trial was seeing him. But to see a person that kills your child in person and you can't say anything to him, he was guilty, and he sat there with no emotion whatsoever on his face. I wrote an impact statement that I read to the judge and asked the judge to please give him the maximum sentence that was allowed. When they finally handed out what he was going to serve, he ended up getting 5 years. They didn't even take Melanie's law into account. I feel like the laws definitely need to change, but I just feel that justice was not served for her. I think 5 years was just too lenient, and I just hope and pray that he doesn't do it again. I hope that when he gets out, he stays sober, and he doesn't go out and drunk drive again, because the same thing's going to happen. Somebody else is going to either get hurt or lose their life, and it's probably not going to be him. It'll be someone else. Coping has been difficult. It'll be 5 years in September, and her birthday is this month. The 27th of July is her birthday. She would have been 29 years old. I had 2 younger children to take care of, and I don't think that I've taken the time I've needed necessarily for myself. I had to spend a lot of time taking care of the boys in the house and working full time. I always remember her on holidays. I think about her every day. But holidays and her birthday and her Remembrance Day are good times for me to reflect and think about her. I miss her. I miss her every day. I don't think there's going to be a day that goes by that I don't miss her. Some days I grieve, some days I have to put on my game face and just complete the day. I mean, you have to do what you have to do to survive, and if you have to work and you have to take care of other family members, and you have a house to take care of, and you have to do those things, but just take as much time for yourself as you need. Don't let people tell you that time should be up for your grieving. I don't think it ever stops. I just think that there's different stages of it. A lot of the grief that I have, I've turned into like memories. I do special things on, I guess it's special occasions and things like that. Every September, in her memory, because it's her Remembrance Month. I do 30 Days of K on my Facebook. So every day I change my cover page to a picture of her, and it's a different picture every day throughout the month. If I post something on the social sites, they'll be like, "Oh, don't worry about it, Tina, you're the strongest person I know. You'll get through this." I don't think of myself as a strong person, but I guess that's the way people perceive me because of what I've gone through, and my boys have gone through. But there are days that I don't feel as strong as people say that I am. I can honestly say I feel that there have been stages of grief. There have been stages. I think that at the beginning it was the unanswered questions. It was why did this happen? Like the third year after the drunk driver had been sentenced and gone to jail, I felt a bit of relief that he was starting to serve his sentence, and around the third year I met my current husband. We started dating, and then he moved in, and we started having it was almost the family dynamic feel back in the house again. And Kay's included in everything we do. Everything we do, we talk about her. We say she's with us. We go to the drive-in. Kay, we see a butterfly, she's at the drive-in with us. I've given some things to her son, to my grandson. I've given things to her brothers. I miss my daughter dearly. I would give anything for a good old mother-daughter argument. I think this past year, coming up on the 5th year, I've evolved into a different sense of grief, I think. It's just not as raw as it was at the beginning. I guess the coping skills are there. I have to continue on with my life, and my kids are continuing on with their lives, but she's always here with us, and we keep her very dear to our hearts. And almost being 5 years out, I'm dealing with it. Whereas before I just would think that I can't do this. The longer time goes on, you learn to deal with it, and you live your life around it.